Hey guys, Colin Elam again, aka the Musket Man, and I am back for episode 10 of Gun Table Talk. Now guys, as y'all can see right off the bat, I do not have any guns in front of me today. I'm actually not gonna, this episode's actually not gonna be about a gun. It's gonna be over black powder safety and firearm safety in general. I thought about this the last 2 weeks, and I thought I'd make a video just kind of over the safety, mostly going over black powder guns, but it also falls in line with modern guns as well. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining me, and let's continue Gun Table Talk. All right, guys, like I said, I'm going to go a little bit over safety. So with these black powder guns, as I've demonstrated in some of my videos, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of others too, more of people shooting them and loading them. Guys, it's just like any other firearm. Just because it's a musket or a muzzle-loading pistol or a cap and ball revolver or any gun in general, you got to be smart with them. You got to have the proper safety, know where your barrel's pointed at all time, know who's around you, simple stuff. But mostly on the black powder deal, if you don't own any of those firearms and you're thinking to get into them, I recommend you do that. I would actually push that. It's an art that's not practiced as much anymore, and I think we have an opportunity here in the United States in this modern era to kind of bring it back to life. And in saying that, if you're getting your first muzzle-loading rifle or whatever, they all come with a manual. I recommend you read that. Now, it's not just going over the safety. A lot of those black powder gun manuals will go over like certain powder loads, certain ball sizes, bullets, caps, flints, different types of powder, different brands, stuff like that. I highly recommend, if you're brand new to it, to read those. And then after you've read it, go on YouTube and watch tons of videos of people shooting, loading, doing all that. I don't recommend you go out the same day you buy the gun, not knowing what you're doing, trying to shoot these things. That's when you're going to run into problems and a lot of heartache. And if you really don't know what you're doing, you can possibly hurt yourself. So the reason I'm saying this is a while back, I had actually last week, if you saw my last post, it was that guy that made that homemade pistol, which it fired, but I think it burst and blew out of his hand. Now, we all laugh at that. You can laugh at that when you find out everybody's okay. But that guy was really, really lucky. He could have lost his hand, lost some fingers. That barrel, the gun could have come back and hit him in the chest, the face. He was lucky to only get away with just a powder burn on 2 fingers. He was incredibly, incredibly lucky that he was not hurt. So if you haven't seen that video, I will show you it real quick, and here it is. Okay, guys, if you saw that video, it's like, yeah, it's funny now when you realize everybody's okay. But guys, that's another reason to not overload these pistols. And if you're thinking about making a homemade one and you are not a professional gunsmith, guys, don't do it. You're playing with fire, literally. That's why when you see on 4th of July or Christmas Day, when people launch fireworks, what happens? There's a ton of people that have to go to the emergency room because they've blown their hands off, missing fingers, getting hit in the face, because they weren't being smart with them. Same rules apply, because it is black powder in fireworks. Same rules apply to that kind of stuff. It is an explosive. You got to be very careful. There is no room for failure or messing around with these type of guns. Now, going on. So I mentioned the pistol. Well, I believe it was about 7 years ago, and this is actually me. I'm going to show you in this video. It's going to sound funny, but I was young, and that teenage mind got a hold of me. I made a homemade cannon out of old oil-filled pipe. And in the video I'm about to show you, it was with my cousins from Nocona, Texas. We're all there for deer season. Well, I had been crafting a homemade cannon that I'm not a gunsmith, and I regret doing it to this day because it could have ended badly. So in the video I'm about to show you, we're fixing to shoot it, and I think I was shooting a small cup of black powder through this pipe. Now, what ends up happening in the video, you're going to see in a minute, I went to go light it. I had a big, long stick with a firework puck on the end to light the touch hole. Well, when I lit it, that barrel flew off like a rocket. And I don't mean just real weak. It flew off like a military missile. Now, at first, everybody's like, whoa, what just happened? When the smoke cleared, everybody's okay. It's more funny later. You're like, oh, wow, but at the moment, what if someone had been standing behind it? What if the barrel had burst? What if it had hit somebody or sent them to the hospital or worse, killed someone? And guys, if you're going to make these homemade guns, I don't recommend it. Now, I know as Americans, we're very ingenuitive. If it came down to it, we can. But guys, if you don't know what you're doing, you're not a professional gunsmith, don't do that stuff. Just take my word for it. Don't do it. And I'm going to show you that video right now so you know what I'm talking about. And here it is. Okay, guys, if you saw that video, that was serious. Now, once the smoke cleared and we realized everybody was okay, it was a lot more funnier later. I laughed about it, but I even got to thinking to myself, and I felt terrible. I'm like, what if I had killed one of my cousins or killed myself or took their arm off or, the dog was out there, our lab. What if she had gotten hit and killed and I'd have to explain to my brother that I killed his dog? Like, I would have never forgiven myself. I would rather myself have been hurt than anybody else. So, guys, that's just something to think about. So if you're looking to make these homemade guns, I don't recommend it. Now, there's guys out there who make homemade cannons, but if you're going to do that, buy the factory-grade barrel that's actually made to shoot a golf ball or whatever. You can buy those golf ball black powder cannons. Yeah, that's a little different. You want to make a frame or platform for it. That's a little different. But I don't recommend you make your own barrel unless you know what you're doing and you are a gunsmith. So, guys, I'm just sharing that with you. Now, some of you are going, well, Colin, that was just, maybe you didn't make a smart decision, which I didn't, and that other guy didn't as well. Well, we know better. But, guys, what if let's say it was a cannon that was registered to shoot a golf ball. But let's say some goober said, I'm going to put 5 times the amount of powder in it. Guys, what do you think is going to happen? Either the barrel's going to take off or it's going to burst the barrel because of pressure or something. Someone could get killed or hurt or killed, worst case scenario. Even you just got to be careful. Now, where does it tie into black powder guns? Well, let's say you're new into it and you just got yourself a 1795 Springfield musket from Pedersoli or something. Oh, I've been watching Colin's videos. I decided to get one. Well, that's great. Perfect. I'm glad you got one. I hope you enjoy it. But if you're one of those guys that's just like, oh, I saw it in this movie where he just poured the powder down from his powder horn, I'm going to do the same. Or I think it would be fun to load 3 times the powder charge in it. Or I think it would be fun to fill up the barrel with nothing but balls and powder, or put 3 balls in it, or use smokeless powder. Don't do it. Guys, that's where you can run into a lot of trouble. That's why when you get those manuals with those guns, they specifically say no smokeless powder, and they tell you what it's regulated for, what it can shoot, what it can't. So don't do that. And if you don't believe me, there's a ton more videos out there proving that guys did it behind plexiglass to burst these guns, black powder guns, to show you what can happen. Guys, don't do it. I've seen guys out there that are like, oh, I shot 3 musket balls. I'm like, man, that's not good for the barrel. Let's say it doesn't burst, but that barrel's got to go somewhere. So it could break your collarbone. That barrel could break loose from the stock, impale you, something. Or worst case scenario, barrel burst. I've seen pictures of guys going, oh, we put mud in the end of the barrel just, thought it'd be a goof, see what happens, and the barrel blew up. I mean, that wasn't being smart. It's not the gun's fault. That's the user. There's videos out there I've seen of a guy, he triple loaded a blunderbuss, and when the guy fired it, the gun went out of his hands, completely fractured the stock. I think he broke a thumb and flew way back on the range. What if that had hit somebody? What if it had broken all of his fingers? What if it had hit him directly in the head and concussed him or crushed his skull? You just don't know, guys. And I'm not saying all this to scare anybody. It's just a matter of don't be stupid. And I'm showing you that even in my young mind of mine, I did something stupid. And thank God no one got hurt. We can all laugh about it today and even that other video. But just be careful, guys. Don't do anything like that. If you've got any questions over that stuff, ask me. Do your research. Look up YouTube videos. There's plenty of information out there to figure that out. You know, don't be loading your cap and ball revolver with smokeless powder because you saw Ed from YouTube do it. But little you know, it's been 2 years since we've seen Ed's YouTube channel. Ed's probably dead because he wasn't smart. So just don't do anything like that. So guys, this was more of a public service announcement. And like I said, this safety follows even to modern weapons. Now, it's not where you're loading black powder or anything, but you still got to be smart. You got to know who's around you. You got to know what you're putting down these muzzle loaders and these black powder guns. Don't do something stupid that you're not supposed to. That's why you'll typically see the manuals are typically longer in the black powder guns when you get them versus the modern ones because there's not as much safety to go with it. So anyway, guys, that's about it. I was just, again, public service announcement. Just wanted to go over black powder safety and firearm safety in general. When you get these guns, just don't do anything stupid because I would really hate to hear that one of y'all has severely injured yourself or you can't even shoot guns ever again or you've killed yourself. So don't do it, guys. Don't try any of that at home. Like I said, sometimes it's funny when you see them. Okay, everybody's okay. Now it's funny, but there's a lot of videos out there that you don't see where it didn't end too well. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching another episode of Gun Table Talk. And remember, keep your powder dry. I'm the Musket Man, and we will catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys.